Okay, we are here at Commvault Go 2017. We are down at the exhibition hall, and we are lucky enough to have one of Commvault's partners, and the place has got lots of Commvault partners, but we've got a particularly special one right here with NetApp. We've got Jeff Leeds, who's Senior Global Alliance Manager.
That's right.
Thank you very much. I just looked at the card.
That's okay.
And so you're here, you're in charge of the Commvault partnership
I
with
am.
NetApp.
Yep.
Tell me how it's going, how's the show going, and what are you focused on?
So yeah, the show's going great. Incredibly great attendance. We've had a lot of people coming by our booth that are also Commvault and NetApp customers, and that's the reason we're here.
Yep.
But great energy at the show. And we're loving the messaging because it really resonates with the messaging that NetApp's been using over the past year or two, talking about data, and it's all about the data now, and that's the same. We're all singing off the same sheet music now, so it's really great.
Now you've been a partner of Commvault's for a while.
Yes, our relationship goes back many years, starting with a highly strategic relationship, all the way back to like 2011.
Yeah.
So we've been working hand in hand with Commvault. We actually resell a Commvault product, Commvault IntelliSnap for NetApp, which is specifically designed to help NetApp customers to manage their snapshots. And Commvault specifically built that for us. So they've got incredibly great depth integrations with us, with Commvault and our ONTAP data center system.
So now there are a lot of customers here. Obviously, it's a customer conference, but there's a lot of partners. And Commvault seems to be going out of their way to really build that partner ecosystem. How is it coming together for you in terms of what you're getting out of this when you're talking to folks? I mean, what's the vibe in terms of what customers are looking for?
Well, I think customers are looking for vendors to absolutely cooperate for their benefit, and so that's really where they can see the fruits of our labor. We work, every week we're on many calls with Commvault, trying to figure this stuff out, make it easier, make it simple for customers to be able to deploy our solutions and theirs together. And so when you start to see customers come by and say, hey, we have lots of NetApp, we use Commvault, we use Commvault IntelliSnap for NetApp, you get to see the fruits of your labor, so that's really gratifying.
So it's interesting that customers are really looking for that kind of tag team of different solution providers that they have in their data center really working together. What are some of the drivers that are bringing people to really rethink their data center and look at the challenges? I mean, we've heard a lot this past couple of days about the crush of data that's coming into the data center. What are some of the drivers that are really causing them to revisit and rethink their data center solutions?
Well, data's everywhere now, and so whether it's on-prem, in the cloud, in a hybrid cloud, customers want to be able to manage it regardless of where it is. And so at NetApp, we talk about our data fabric story. And Commvault really does meld very well into our story. So regardless of what platform it's on, whether it's up in Azure, whether it's up in AWS, if it's in a hybrid environment, sitting in an Equinix data center where we have NetApp private storage, or it's sitting traditionally in your storage center, you want to be able to get that, regardless of where it's going to be sitting, you want to be able to access it quickly, and using Commvault is a really great way of being able to tie into that story and being able to help backup, recover, and keep your data at a level that is governance where you need to work with somebody like Commvault for NetApp. They're a vital partner for us.
So now you've got certainly a lot of drivers that are really bringing people into much faster sales cycles, certainly data protection being a large one. What are you seeing in terms of folks coming to you and saying, we've got to really take care of this in the short term?
Yeah, so I think that companies now, all these new regulations with GDPR is looming over everyone. So our Sheila Fitzpatrick, our Chief Privacy Officer, was just here talking about GDPR, and Commvault is one of the companies that we're working with as a strategic partner to go and try to solve those kinds of real world problems. And so there's thousands of customers around the world that have NetApp and Commvault already working together, and so they could take our solutions together and really go and solve the GDPR problem for their customers, and to ensure that they're not going to get those big fines that are looming over everyone's head.
Well, so that comes due in March, is it, of next year?
It was May.
May of next year.
Yeah.
So that'll speed sales cycles along.
It will. And
a lot of deals closing in April.
Yeah, we saw the same sort of thing with SOX and HIPAA for all those of us that lived through those kinds of times. We're going to see that big crescendo, and it's, the big thing is that this is not just an EU issue. If you're a US company and you have data from people that are in the EU, you're in GDPR. Same thing goes for other multinationals. So, ANZ, all the different areas that are going to have to deal with it have a lot of EU data. They're going to have to be dealing with this problem.
Well, it's interesting how the EU is approaching it versus the US or Canada or the Americas in the fact that they are taking such an aggressive stance and a punitive stance with regard to data privacy and protection.
Yeah, and I suspect this is going to be the first of many regulations. The US is very unregulated. We'll see if that's going to get strengthened up, but even through Latin America, you're seeing strong regulations. Through other parts of the world, there's definitely strong regulations, and so, at the end of the day, being partnered with somebody like Commvault for NetApp, this gives us an opportunity to go and help customers just be, by default, protected.
Right. Well, and I think that's a huge driver. In the end, it seems like a lot of people have been fairly cavalier with their data. Certainly, there's been a lot of, fairly prominent breaches that were avoidable.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think, the way the EU is coming at it now, it certainly is putting a stake in the ground and saying, you just can't take it lightly, and that's certainly good for you and the ecosystem here.
Absolutely, and I think we'll see. Much like HIPAA, when that HIPAA regulation came along, there was a big push towards it, but it's not going to end in May. It just the fun only gets started in May.
Yeah.
And so this is something that companies really need to start to pay attention to, and the party just gets started.
Right. Good point. Well, it'll be a great party. I think there's going to be a good party tonight and tomorrow. Thanks for coming over and spending a little time with us. This has been a very interesting show. We're learning a lot, and best of luck for the rest of the show.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.